Okay, so we might jump into it. I hope you're all doing well. Look, my name is Lucinda Judd and I'm the trade consultant at CreditorWatch. So look, I focus specifically on the Datalogic platform, and in today's webinar, that's definitely something we're going to touch on. But today we're discussing how to proactively improve the quality of your ledger using Datalogic. So we do have quite a bit of information to get through today. So if you do miss anything, or if you'd like some of the more introductory points on CreditorWatch, the system as a whole, you can jump onto our website or feel free to reach out to myself or your account manager, and we'll be happy to help with that. In today's webinar, we'll discuss the value of proactive debt management and also explain how Datalogic can help to identify some of your delinquent debtors and also opportunities for growth within your ledger. I'll touch on some of our latest BRI statistics that suggest that the road to recovery is likely going to be long and slow, and that now is the time to implement your additional protective measures. I'll take you through a quick demonstration of Datalogic and highlight a few of the key areas that I think will be really beneficial to your process and really help to enable your team during these uncertain times. I'll finish up with some more information on our complimentary ATV analysis offer, which is a really great way for you to see the system in action and gain some really deep insights on your debtors. Before we get started, I'll just cover off a couple of our housekeeping points when using the system today. You can ask questions as we go along. There should be a little Q&A pop up at the bottom of your screen. And look, if I don't have time to come back to you today, I'll definitely come back to you as soon as we wrap up the session this morning. You will also receive a recording of today's webinar for sure, and it will also be available on our webinars page on the website. This is going to cover off all of our other presentations, all of our other platforms as well. So if you do want some of those introductory points as well, they'll be available for you. Some of the key highlights for CreditorWatch as a whole paint the picture of who we are. We currently have 55,000 customers, so that's more than any other provider within the market. We have about 90% of those customers using CreditorWatch exclusively, which is great to see. And in terms of our trade line data, we've got 10 million trade lines. So this is really valuable insights that are coming through via Xero and MyOb for our SME database. And then also we've got the corporate users who are uploading their ATVs via Datalogic. In terms of our product suite, look, we do have a number of different options available, and they should cover you at every stage of your customer relationship, from onboarding to monitoring to risk mitigation, and also securing your business moving forward. So there's something for everyone. CreditorWatch is our core platform. It's going to allow you to monitor, receive those alerts on your active customer base. Then we've got Datalogic, so that's my bread and butter, and it's our ATV analysis platform, so a really good one to be using at the moment. We've got director due diligence, so this is going to provide you with some more information on a director and what they've done in the past. We've also got Apply Easy, which is our online onboarding application platform, and DebtorLogic. So this is actually award-winning, and it's going to streamline your PPSA registration process and allow you to manage those registrations really easy. We've got FRAs, or financial risk assessments, so they allow you to assess the financial viability of an important trading partner. And then finally, we also have the PHCs, or the portfolio health check. So this will allow you to review your database, verify any entity details, and remove incorrect information there. Just so we can, sort of gauge what's been going on in the last 12 to 18 months, understand your experience a little bit better. I've brought up a poll question here. So just want to understand, what's your experience been over or throughout the COVID-19 pandemic? Have you noticed the overall health of your ledger be impacted at all? So I'm just going to bring up that poll question. Feel free to pop in as much detail as you'd like and answer yes or no here. I'll give you a few moments to pop in your responses. And I'll have a good read of these once we finish up today. Lovely. So I'm just going to close that off. Continue typing if you want. That's not a problem at all. Easy. So look, in terms of the lay of the land, what's been happening recently, I was definitely expecting 2022 to be a bit kinder to us, but so far that has not been the case. Maybe in the second half of the year we will see that. But the latest BRI statistics do show that, you know, trading conditions, business conditions in Australia are currently rife with uncertainty due to the ongoing impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen things like supply chain disruptions, labour shortages, the floods on the East Coast, which are absolutely devastating, and then also the war in Ukraine more recently, which is just awful to see that still happening. But all of these events are impacting the businesses that you're trading with, and we understand that a lot of these businesses are likely going to be in a very different state to what they were pre-COVID. We've seen a few of the big names in construction with ProBuild and Condev fall victim to this, and unfortunately we don't expect it to end here. So now's a really good time to get proactive and put some extra measures in place to protect and improve the health of your ledger. In terms of the stats that we're seeing in front of us, we can see that payment times have blown out within a few specific industries, namely construction, accommodation and food services, electricity, gas, water and waste services. So they've blown out here in these industries in arrears of 60+ days. We've also forecasted a high probability of default within a few specific industries over the next 12 months. So we're forecasting this. So look out for accommodation, food services, information, media and telecommunications, financial and insurance services as well. So we're predicting that there could be some more defaults within those industries specifically. In terms of the trade activity, we did see a slight increase in trade receivables in February, which is a really encouraging sign. However, you know, the bigger picture does still show that trade activity is down significantly in comparison to the pre-COVID levels. So something to note there, has increased for Feb, but overall is still down when in comparison to previous years. CreditorWatch is expecting some downward pressure on business turnover and activities in those flood affected areas of Queensland and northern New South Wales. So that is something to keep in mind, but this is yet to hit our data as yet. In terms of our court actions, we have seen a significant increase here in February yet again. And this is in comparison to pre-COVID as well. So this does indicate that the ATO and the banks have resumed their normal collections and enforcement activities. As a result of this, we do expect there to be a steady increase in the amount of insolvencies as well. So quite a volatile and unpredictable climate that we're in at the moment. So an increase in risk for sure. Our data does show the RBA has also noted that the economic road to recovery is likely going to be long and slow, and the companies that come out in the best shape are the ones that take action now to strengthen the ledger rather than waiting for those business conditions to improve. So, you know, now is the time to jump on that. And a tool that is really going to help you to navigate this economy and lay some really strong foundations within your ledger is actually DebtorLogic. Again, my bread and butter, so I'm going to jump in and provide you some more information on that. For those of you who are new to the system, DebtorLogic is an interactive trade payment program, and it's going to provide you a data-driven analysis of your aged trial balance or ATB. We combine both small business and corporate trade data to help you identify and understand what sort of credit risk a customer represents to your business by looking at how they pay their bills across the market. DebtorLogic will challenge the way that you're currently collecting your outstanding amounts. So rather than just going after the most outstanding debt first, it's going to highlight bad debt, risky debtors, and also some opportunities for growth and further cash flow within your ledger as well. So different ways that you can use DebtorLogic. A few key benefits and insights that will be presented in the system are things like how your customers are paying you in comparison to the market. So really strong trade payment information, giving you a better understanding of how your bills are prioritised. We'll see some adverse and high risk information, changing payment trends, both positive and negative, so it's not all doom and gloom. We've got some easy to read graphs and charts, which is great, and some really efficient and customizable reporting functionality available in the system as well. So with that said, I think I'll jump into a demonstration. It speaks for itself, and I think that's the best way to understand what the system does and if you could benefit from using this sort of platform moving forward. So just bear with me. I'm going to share my DebtorLogic page here. Great, so that has been brought up. I'm just going to turn my camera off as well. Lovely. So look, this is DebtorLogic. It's available within your CreditorWatch account, so it should be visible here once we've switched it on, DebtorLogic in the top black toolbar. So again, emulates the overall appearance of CreditorWatch. You've got 4 main areas here with the view latest ATV first, historical analysis, management reports, and then the upload function available. So you've got the option to upload your data as frequently as you'd like, and maybe, you know, in light of what's going on at the moment, you could actually be uploading your data more frequently to unlock the graphs and charts and the data insights available. I'm going to focus on the View Latest ATV widget today because it has all of those findings and focus areas that we want to look into that can help to improve the health of your ledger. So I'll click in. And I am going to whiz through the first few tabs here with the dashboard overview, but these are really, really valuable insights here. The first graph is going to break down your ATV so that you can prioritize, you know, aging. You can click into a specific segment and focus on the 21 accounts that do make up this 90+ day portion if you choose. So really interactive insights here. The second graph is going to show you an overview of your entities, industries, and states within your ledger so that you can actually target these industries a bit more specifically if you'd like. If you are starting to see, you know, payment times blowing out within construction, you can focus specifically on construction if you choose to do that. And the same goes with state and the entity type. So really allowing you to segment and interact with specific areas of your age trial balance. In terms of improving the quality of your ledger and the health of your ledger, I think risk analysis is a great place to start. You can quickly and easily identify what portion of your ledger is associated with risk. So we can see here that the graph is broken down into 3 main areas: adverse, no adverse, and no ABN set or invalid ABN. So straight away, you can use this red segment to identify $7 million plus or 356 accounts who do have adverse information associated with them. This is a great place for your collections team to actually target these accounts, click in and see what's going on here in terms of the risk categories that are making up this portion. Really interactive, as you can see. But if we click back, you know, you can also identify which accounts currently have no adverse. So the low risk accounts within your ledger have shown no history of, you know, risk within their credit report, sorry. And we can also see what portion of your ATV does have unmatched or invalid ABN. So this is a great place to maybe make the most of a portfolio health check and help to establish these missing ABN details. You know, this could potentially be $170,000 with risk associated, but because we don't have those details, you don't have those details on your CRM, your accounting packages, we can't actually establish what is going on with these accounts. So a good place to chat to your account manager or myself and maybe look into a portfolio health check here. If we do click into the red segment yet again, this is a good opportunity for your collections team to start working through this wheel and understand who is still collectible, what's going to have to get written off, and what can you do to, you know, reclaim these monies and get these outstanding amounts paid. You can click into a specific segment and it will bring up the payment behavior here as well. So you could target cancelled ABNs if you'd like, or maybe some of your court actions and payment defaults. So there's really early indicators of distress to improve your collection rates and risk within your ledger. So this is a great place to clean things up. Another good area to look into is customer insights. So this graph has a massive amount of value, especially now in an unpredictable landscape like the one that we're experiencing. You can analyze how your debtors are paying you in comparison to the market. So using this graph, if I break it down a little bit, you can actually see top axis here how you're paid. And this axis here is how the market is paid. So a direct comparison using all of the data that we're getting through from Xero and MyOb, and also our other contributors to DebtorLogic via those ATV uploads. So this is how we're collaborating all of this information and giving you this comparison. In terms of some areas for collection priority for your collections team to target, we could look at this $58,000 here. You can double click on a cell to see who's making up this $58,000. We can see them all listed below here. These are the accounts that are paying you on average 90+ days, whereas they appear to pay the market on average 1 to 30 days. So there is a big difference here. And these would be the accounts that they can target, put a bit more pressure on because they appear to have the funds to pay their bills. They're just withholding payment from you for whatever reason. And this is where you can jump on that, try and get this money paid faster to improve your cash flow and your business. Same goes with any of these cells within this corner. This is a more substantial amount here, almost $900,000, paying you on average 60 to 90 days, yet they appear to be paying the market 1 to 30 days on average. So without using a system like DebtorLogic, you just wouldn't have access to this sort of market information, external comparisons on your ATV and really the market's ATV. A different area that you could look into on this graph is also, let's look at this cell. So these are the accounts below, making up this $90,000 here. They appear to be paying you on average within terms or non-overdue, yet they appear to pay the market on average 90+ days. So this could be an indication of some sort of distress here, some financial difficulty. Maybe you're paid first as a critical supplier, yet they're struggling to pay their bills elsewhere. So this could be a great place to utilize PPSA registrations. Get in touch with Jason or Paul at CreditorWatch. They'll be happy to help and take you through this system, but this is a great place to start thinking about, do I have my PPSA registration for any of these entities? If not, maybe it's a good time to start thinking about doing that, because it looks like there could be some financial difficulty elsewhere in the market. You're being paid first, but other bills are not getting paid, generally speaking. So could be a bit of a domino effect coming into play shortly. So this is a great way to analyze your payment behavior versus the market and identify some areas for collection priority and then some areas to be proactive and populate those PPSA registrations and get those securities in place for your business moving forward. If I toggle to the risk analysis graph, slightly different comparison here. So if we look at the top axis, we can see how you're paid yet again, current 1 to 30, 30 to 60, this is your ATV data. But then if we look at this axis here, we can actually see a comparison of how you're paid versus your risk score rating. So I think that this graph is really great because you can very quickly profile your customer base. Who's low risk, who's moderate risk, who's high risk. When I do click on one of those categories, you can see all of the accounts that make up this red portion below. And essentially, this could be an area for your collections team to target to make some more, focused calls throughout the day based on risk, as opposed to just aging. It can be more so centralized around the risk profile of your customer base. In terms of opportunities for your sales and marketing team, maybe they could look to, forge a bit more heavily into the entities that are falling into this green category here. So these are the accounts that have an A, B, or C rating. So essentially, these are your low risk or your best debtors making up this portion here. So there's nothing to be too concerned about with these ones. They're generally paying you well, and they fall into that low bracket of risk or rating as well. So a great way for your business to understand what's outstanding and where is it sitting in terms of the risk profile. So I really like this graph. I think it sort of cuts through some of the noise and you can specifically target, let's look at this one here, $27,000 here, sitting in current, yet it appears to be in an E rating. So this is an area for your collections team to jump on this, call these 5 or 6 accounts, and collect these amounts as a priority because they're substantial amounts and they also happen to have a high risk score rating. So your chance of getting this back if you don't do it now is getting less and less. In terms of some really efficient reporting functionality, I always like to jump into the account list. This is where you can actually extract information from the system and customize it. So you can actually customize this view and your report using this filter drop-down menu here. So a couple of examples that you could look into for this data could actually be, you know, let's look at a risk category. So we noticed that there were quite a large number of cancelled ABNs. You can very easily toggle cancelled ABNs and focus specifically on that category and forget about the rest. So we've got all of your cancelled ABNs here. You can pop them into a spreadsheet and you're good to go. So very specific and efficient, and it just is allowing your team to work a bit smarter rather than harder, because it's all there available for you. All of the data is here and there's not too much work involved other than uploading your ATB and popping in a few filters here. So that could be a great one to look into if you are trading with the cancelled ABN. You're at risk here of not getting that monies back, and it could be a good opportunity for you to look at organising a new credit application with the updated details. So a good one to look into at the moment with the cancelled ABNs, and you know, assessing the integrity of your data, cleaning things up on your end as well. You'll notice that we do also have these 3 custom fields available at the bottom here. We've included sales type, division and collector. You have the option to include any field that is going to help you to identify an area within your business. These are a few really good examples because they allow a team member to create a list specific to them. So let's just say a collector will choose Felix, because I like the name, wants to collect from his risk score ratings of E's and D's. He's got about 6 or 7 high-risk accounts that he can choose to focus on as a priority. So he's forgetting the low-risk score ones. He wants to target these guys because, you know, they're very high risk. So this is allowing him to pop this into a spreadsheet and use this as his call list. You know, it's more focused on risk as opposed to just aging. So a great way for Felix to get his job done and get these monies paid. Another option could definitely be, you know, let's look at a salesperson or a sales type even. You could jump on specific sales type, let's highlight a few, and then also an industry. So they could choose to focus on an industry that's been doing well at the moment. You could maybe pop in agriculture. We know they've been doing quite well throughout COVID. So you could choose to focus on a specific industry to, you know, establish some further cash flow and opportunity within those areas. So I just think this is a really great area for your teams to create lists, whether it be for opportunity, cash flow, business, or whether it be to get around some risk here. You could jump in and select all of your current 1 to 30, and then also the ones that are high risk within those aging buckets. So these are the ones that may need a conversation around their payment terms and your relationship moving forward, because they are showing as early on in the aging with current 1 to 30, yet they're high risk. So maybe some changes is needed within these areas. So a bunch of different options available within the account list, and I think this is a great option to be using at the moment, just to create a really effective list and to cut through some of that noise and focus on a specific risk category, an industry, a risk score rating. So really great options available within that account list tab here. So look, that's really my key areas within Datalogic that I think are going to be really valuable and give you a better understanding of the health of your ledger, risk analysis, what portion is adverse, customer insights, how is your customer base paying you in comparison to the rest of the market, and then also you've got that account list tab that is going to allow you to create some really specific reporting for your collections team, for your sales team, for marketing, and areas where you can improve cash flow as well. So really great insights where you can get your jump on your competitors and highlight areas that really require that additional attention at the moment. Look, I hope you've enjoyed that demonstration of Datalogic, and I hope you've got some key takeaways when it comes to using the system and these market insights to your benefit in navigating this economy that we're in at the moment. It's really unpredictable, so all of the additional measures that you can take are going to make the difference and help to strengthen things moving forward. But look, I'll jump back and I'll provide you with some more information on our complementary analysis. Which I think is a great way for you to establish, you know, what's going on within your ledger at the moment. So hopefully that's come back to my PowerPoint, but let's jump on. So look, the complementary analysis is something that we're offering at the moment. It's going to allow you to see all of this information specific to your ledger. So how your customers are paying you, who has risk associated with them, and maybe some cash flow issues, collection priority based on data and market insights. So it's a really great way for you to get a health check on your ledger and some really great insights, deep, rich, understandings of what's going on in your ledger at the moment. If you do want to be contacted about a complementary analysis and maybe you'd like to book in some time with me to go through this together, I'm just bringing up a poll question here. Let us know if you'd like to be contacted, and I can definitely reach out and we can organise a time to go through that together. Essentially, it's going to be me reaching out. We upload one of your files, book in a session to go through all of those findings together. So plenty of value, and there's no obligation for you to continue on with usage of the platform. It's just a good exercise to take a look at the moment. I'll give you all a few moments to pop in your responses, and then we'll finish up for the day. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know, it's almost lunchtime. I'm going to close that off. Lovely. Okay, so that's really it from me today. I don't think I'll have time to jump in and take a look at your questions or answer your questions during today's session, but I will definitely come back to you as soon as possible once we wrap things up today and give you some more information and a bit of a response on those questions as well. We do have a few additional training links and resources available on the screen. Feel free to jump in and take a closer look at the platform and those training resources, the how-to guide for a bit more information on what Datalogic does. But otherwise, as I said, feel free to reach out to me if you do have questions. We can book in some time to go through this together and have a bit of a conversation about the health of your ledger and different areas that you could look into to improve the overall quality of your ledger. In light of everything that's going on at the moment. But look, guys, I will leave it at that. Thanks so much for jumping on today. Enjoy your weekends and we'll hopefully chat soon. See you later.